Chatsuba Dude, here with another Cowboy Bebop build, and this time we're doing Faye Valentine's Red Tail. This build took me quite a few hours, to be honest, and probably two or three different brands, I think. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all. We'll start with the center of the ship, which we'll call the base, and that will be here. And if we look closely, we start with a landing bay. This is, I think, one of the few or only landing bays that can be flipped to open in the back of the ship. So it's a Taiyo Shipbed 200, and we're going to connect that to HopeTech, which we'll use for most of the HABs, or all of the HABs. So this is a HopeTech 1x1, and that is the base. So that's the lowest the ship will go. And then on top of this, we're going to throw 2x1, all in one, so people can have some beds to sleep on. And it's just an armory because I feel like Faye, if she had a ship this big, would have an armory that's just full of the biggest guns you can imagine. And then on the front of the ship, we're going to add the cockpit, which will be an Armstrong. And if you want like more cargo space, I would go with something bigger than an Armstrong 10, but it will do for now. And then to kind of round it off, because Faye has a sphere as a cockpit, as well as Spike, I guess, but we can't do sphere cockpits in here very much, so we just have to imitate it. And for that, I used the tie cowling for the fore bottom and just gave it the same color scheme. So it gives it a bit of a sphere look. I like it. I think it fits in Starfield anyway. It's very NASA punkish. Okay, so that's the base. And then on top of the base, we're going to put Nova cowling from Nova Galactic. And we need some sort of docker. So I use this one because of its clearance, and it allows us to connect things to it, which is going to be important. So a Nova docker. So right now that's 3 brands. We have Taiyo, we have HopeTech, and we have Nova. And then in the back, you can start connecting your equipment, I guess. We have the Nova grav drive. Not really important what grav drive you use. White Dwarf 3000 engine, and this one's got really good speed. And it looks kind of like the back end of Faye's ship. And then her ship, called the Red Tail, has kind of a fin on the back. And I use the color scheme on the Amundan reactor here, Stellarator, to imitate that red kind of fin. And it works. Okay, so that's the base. And we'll get to the cargo and stuff later. Let's add the wing. Now the wing all put together looks like this. An arm, less of a wing and more of an arm. But we'll go with the Stroud Eklund bracer. And that will be attached to our HAB, I think. Does it? We'll find out. I can't remember, to be honest. And all right, so we're just gonna connect that, and then let's put this wing together. So we have more Stroud Eklunds. Now we're into 4 different brands: Taiyo, HopeTech, Nova, and Stroud. And we're connect this to the Stroud cowling and flip it so it's got the slope on the outside. And we want to make it look more arm-like, so going to give it some length with the aft bottom from Taiyo, and we're going to give it some slope, I guess, with the foretop Taiyo cowling. then we round out, or we lengthen that even more with some Nova cowling, with the Nova nose and another Nova nose. Nova cowling, yeah. And just flip to the back. So it kind of looks, I don't know, teardrop-ish. Then we need to build our machine guns. So Faye has 2 auto cannons, or machine guns mounted to the arms. And I use the Stroud engine bracer to imitate her arm, which is pretty close to actually the steel bracer that they have on her arms. And then we need landing gear. It's necessary. And the ship gets kind of heavy, so lander thrust with 2 is good, and the Acculander from Stroud is perfect for this. And you can color it to imitate a kind of like a color scheme that Faye would have, and then just attach the weapon mount, which holds our machine gun, and as well as an electron beam. But the reason why it has one of those is because I took apart the Frontier for this build, and I didn't want to waste the weapons. The same reason why it has missiles on the top. Alright, so that's looking correct, I think. I have to look at the build, but yeah, it's about the shape we need. So now we can just take the whole other wing here that we already built and attach it to the back there. And yeah, and there is our build. All we're gonna do is finish off with the cargo and shields. Oh, and the fuel tank, of course. I got shielded cargo because no matter what ship I'm flying, I like to smuggle stuff. And I feel like Faye would be doing that anyway. And so there's also a dual frequency scan jammer up here. Because, you know, Faye is just a scoundrel. It's just the life she leads. So that's the whole look of it. I painted most of the base black so it doesn't stand out as much because, you know, Faye's ship doesn't really have much of a base. It's really just a cockpit with 2 machine gun arms. But I hope the look is good. Let's make sure that I did that correctly. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to cancel the modification, and I did. Nice. I hope you guys enjoy this build. I will be building more ships from popular sci-fis as long as it continues to stay fun for me. The next one by recommendation is the Aloha O from Space Dandy, which is another Watanabe anime I'm excited for. So, I hope you enjoy, and I hope to see you next time. See ya, Space Cow folk.